Hi, I'm Brian.
And I'm Bruce.
And this is Just Beneath the Surface, Episode 8.
8.
We want to thank you for coming back. We appreciate our viewers.
Thank you.
And something we want to do here at Just Beneath the Surface. First of all, Bruce, just as a reminder to our audience, what is Just Beneath the Surface?
Just Beneath the Surface is our tribute to Rod Serling's The Twilight Zone, which ran, the original, from 1959 to 1964.
Right, and we like to discuss those episodes here. And we want to thank all of you who've watched so far, and we want to encourage you.
Thank you.
There are 3 things we'd like you to do for us, please. One is
send money.
Like that's number 4, actually.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
But what we'd like you to do is, one, like us.
Hit the like button.
Hit the like button. Hit the
and you can choose which one you like.
It's either or. It doesn't have to be, both. We'd also like you to hit the notification bell. Bruce, what does that do?
That notifies people.
It notifies people. Very good, Bruce. And we also want you to subscribe.
See the little light bulb above my head, like Curly used to have? No, that was in his head. To show a little canary in his skull.
You sound more like Mr. Dingle the Strong there. But anyway, this is all about the Twilight Zone, as Bruce said. And today we're going to focus on one episode in particular.
Uno.
One that we both like, that we often feel is kind of overrated. Underrated. It's not appreciated as much as it should be. It's not in anyone's top 10, but it's one that we really like.
Was
Bruce, what's it called? It's
called The Hunt.
The Hunt. Season 3, written by Earl Hamner Jr., a man who would years later would produce a very successful television series called The Twilight Zone. The Waltons.
The Waltons.
Earl Hamner, most famous for that, but he got his start writing for The Twilight Zone, and he wrote 3 episodes over the course of the series. And this is the one that we think is the best and the most famous. Bruce, in a nutshell, what is The Hunt all about?
The Hunt is about a man who dies going raccoon hunting, along with his dog he dies, which is not good either.
To give you a little foreshadowing here, the dog's name is
R.I.P. Rip.
Rip.
I love that dog.
He's an old hound dog.
Oh, hound dog.
And as well, first of all,
Roscoe P. Whatever.
First of all, our hero's name is Hyder Simpson.
Hyder Simpson.
From Simpson's Mountain, and his wife is Elizabeth. I'm sorry. Her name is Rachel. We find that out.
That's right. Right.
Her name is Rachel. And Rachel doesn't like Rip too much. She says, "I don't want him in here with his ticks and fleas, and get him out of my house."
Yeah, she doesn't like. Well, she likes him, but she doesn't like him running around the house. But even just the quick thing is that he dies doing this, and then he goes to heaven. But we can go through the episode specifically.
Sure. So what happened?
Go through what each happened. But just to mention real quickly, I love the music at the beginning. Not that it matters to anybody out here, I don't know if it matters, but I just love it. I'm trying to find it on YouTube or somewhere so I can play it. It's just great.
Serling sets the episode up very well in his opening introduction. He says, "Tonight's story is going to take us into the backwoods of the Twilight Zone."
Backwoods.
The backwoods of the Twilight Zone.
I'd like to be in somebody's backwoods.
That's brilliant writing right there.
It is.
And as it opens up, Hyder and Rip come home from a day of doing whatever they do.
Right.
Rachel's got dinner on the table waiting for them.
I think he's bringing in firewood or something.
I think so.
Because the door is locked and he's there. Rachel or something like, why is the door locked?
Old woman.
Old woman? That's right, old woman. Old man and old woman.
Old woman. He announces at this point that he's not going to be around much longer because he and Rip are going out after dinner and they're going to go coon hunting.
Right, because she goes, "I'll feed that dog," because he's giving him snacks. I'll feed that dog later. He goes, we won't be here later.
And then she says, "I wish you wouldn't go out tonight."
I wish you wouldn't go out.
Last night I looked out the window and I saw blood on the moon.
And I had a premonition and a bird flew in and he lighted on your side of the bed.
You should have been asleep. Wouldn't have seen it. There's a lot of good...
Does he say that?
He does, yeah. Does
he?
Yes. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of good back and forth here between Hyder and Rachel about why he should or should not go out coon hunting this night.
And maybe it's just me, but I quickly find a very mutual attraction between the two, like they love each other. Because at one time, while they stood at the table before that, he goes, "How long have we been together?" 50 odd years, I think, right?
I reckon about 50 years we've been traveling together.
Right, that's a long time to somebody be together. And she goes,
"How long has it been since you got yourself kissed?" "Oh, I figure it's been about 20 years.
That is not part of the episode. He's making that up. I'm trying to be nice about it. I'm between romantic, a sentimentalist, like in Fever Pitch, the movie.
They're a cute couple. You know?
They are, but she says, I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Wouldn't have had it any other
And
way.
Hyder Simpson goes, neither would I. You feel that connection between the two.
Little piece of trivia for you, by the way. The shack that they live in, both the exterior and the interior, was later reused on a very popular CBS series of the 1960s.
Oh, I thought you were going to say another Twilight Zone episode, because I think it is in another Twilight Zone.
I don't know about that, but
CBS series?
Yes, I do know that.
What's the first letter?
You would see it every week in the opening credits of
Beverly Hillbillies?
Beverly Hillbillies.
Was it?
It was the same shack.
I just guessed that.
Series, yes.
But what am I going to guess? Like Mannix?
Yeah.
They showed a little shack of Mannix, like our producer was on. What's that show you were on?
So when you see Jed Clampett running in the front door in the opening credits,
Robert Urich.
It's no.
Spencer for Hire.
Spencer for Hire. You wouldn't see a little shack on Spencer for Hire, which our friend producer actor was on.
But in the opening credits of the Beverly Hillbillies, when you see Jed Clampett running in the front door, that's the same shot. They've even got the camera in the same location as where Hyder Simpson walks in. It's.
I haven't seen that in a long time, but that's a good catch. Wow,
very much so.
I didn't know that. So what happens is he's going raccoon hunting.
He's going out for the hunt. So it's night is falling. It's a little after. It's almost getting dark.
And that great music is playing again.
Mm-hmm. And he goes out. He and Rip are going out, and Rip manages to tree a raccoon.
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, he does. No. Rip trees him.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He chases him. Well,
How
what?
much?
No, I'm not going to bet on this.
What's the word? Bullshit walks.
Right
money talks.
Right,
no, money talks.
Right now, I'm putting a still from the episode right here on screen, saying that there's a raccoon.
And there's going to be an arrow going. I'm with the fool.
What happens then? What does Rip
He doesn't treat the raccoon. He smells the raccoon. He goes after the raccoon, but the raccoon runs down this log, whatever.
That's after he trees him.
Does he tree him?
Yes.
See, folks, don't get old. See what happens? It's this way, and that way. And then you're gone. There's nothing left.
So the raccoon is on the log. What happens next?
Next, Hyder Simpson is going to Rip. Rip, don't chase that dog. He'll drag you under, because Rip's going to jump it, because the raccoon, and I didn't know this since I'm not a hunter, but when raccoons are being chased by prey or people or whatever, they tend to go to, or whatever, and that's a good use of the word whatever. They tend to go towards the water for some reason. I guess they swim well.
What?
That's
Really?
I think they say that in the episode, that those coons, they go towards the water or whatever. And so what happens is the raccoon goes down the log, jumps in the water, and of course Rip's right behind him. And Rip jumps in the water. And he goes, don't do that, Rip. He'll drag you under. And he goes, that's what raccoons do. And I don't know if that's another thing. Could a raccoon drag you under? Well, probably you.
Probably, yeah.
Right, but I always... Thin Man. William Powell, the Thin Man. But any event.
What's next?
Next is Hyder Simpson runs down and he sees the bubbles coming up, and it's a few seconds. Oh, he's got you down there, Rip. I'm coming to get you. And you see Hyder Simpson jumping. Doesn't even look like a double.
Nope.
It looks like
him. Arthur Honeycutt was the actor's name.
Good job, my friend.
Yes.
How old was he when he made that episode? Must have been 80, 83?
Actually, he was not as old as he looked, because he did movies in the 70s.
He did those westerns.
20 years after that.
Right.
He was the original Uncle Jesse in the movie Moonrunners, which was later turned into The Dukes of Hazzard.
Really?
Yeah, created by the same guy. Wow. That's a whole other story.
There's a lot up there in that little noggin.
Yes.
And it's pouring out like the Sea of Gibraltar.
And I will say this, Serling did something...
Sea of Gibraltar, there it goes.
Rod Serling did something I always liked in this episode. After Rip and Hyder Simpson are in the water, what do you see? You see the raccoon scurrying up the log.
And you feel so good in a way.
He's got the last laugh on these two.
I'm an animal lover. I know people don't like that, but I go, oh, the raccoon made it, yay. And then I'm going... But where's Rip?
Where's Rip?
Where's Hyder?
Cut to the next morning. It's like some time has passed.
And Hyder Simpson is just laying there kind of knocked out.
He's against the log. They're on the bank of the river.
And this is very part of the movie. I like the whole thing, but this it really gets me heartfelt or whatever. You see Rip there. Right. He's good. Rip is like trying to get his Hyder awake and nibbling him, whatever. God bless that dog. That's a dog. Oh man, dogs are great. Dogs is just. But so that happens, and Hyder gets up and goes, "We better get home."
Old woman's not going to like. We were out all night.
Old woman's going to get us now. We better get home. So he goes home.
As they're on their way home, though, they come across two of the neighbors. And the neighbors.
Oh, very good. I was going to, wow. Yeah, I was going to skip right past. Okay.
The neighbors are digging a hole on Hyder Simpson's property. And he doesn't like this. He's still got the shotgun in his hand from the raccoon hunt. And he's like, boys, what are you doing? This is my property. Go dig on your side.
Yeah, if you want to dig a hole, go dig it on your property.
But
and they don't respond to him.
They don't
look around. They don't do anything. And he goes, boy, those boys must be getting, those Thompson boys, whatever, they must be getting hard of hearing.
Must be getting hard of hearing.
Hard of hearing. Whatever. He goes, hey, I ain't just talking to you to move the wind. Now get moving, I'll put a buckshot right in your rear. Or something like that.
But they continue with their tasks. They continue digging this hole, and it becomes apparent through their conversation that they're digging a grave.
Right.
And one of them comments, it doesn't have to be that deep. It's only a dog.
It's only a dog to some people.
And that gets Simpson's attention because he's, of course, a dog lover. He loves Rip. And
I am too. We are too. Dog lovers. Great.
Why didn't you all tell me you lost a dog? How did it happen?
Yeah.
Well, Rip, I guess they just can't talk. They're too broke up about all this.
Very good. That was it. That's what he said.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and he goes, let's leave them in their sorrow. We're breaking in on something we shouldn't be doing.
Yep.
And so they just leave. So he never really find out. But he's watching modern movies where they have some ghost, like in the movie Ghost or something. Yeah. They never really show that. The only place that's good is in the movie Ted, where you go, that's a real teddy bear? You go, holy crap, he's like hugging that guy. And you go, how'd they do that? But anyway.
So Hyder and Rip go home.
Yes.
What happens?
He goes in and he goes, oh, we may be in luck, Rip. It looks like the old woman isn't awake yet because everything's quiet. There's nothing going on. It's like, so he comes through and he sees his old woman sitting there all in black, like us.
And this is my only criticism of the episode.
Are you going to bring me down?
Maybe.
Don't.
But I think everything happened a little too quickly. I mean, he just died the night before, and already she's in her full funeral best. The guys are in the room. They've already put his body into a pine box, and they're about to haul him off to the funeral. Right. All in 12 hours?
Yes, because
really?
because actually where this was shot was close to western Pennsylvania. And as you remember in the broadcast for that, where they said that because of the Night of the Living Dead, the zombies, you have to get them in the ground right away, otherwise they're going to start coming at you right away. No, that's not it?
No. Remember, this is on
here's another one. You're the guy that said these long drawn-out scenes are too long.
Yeah.
In our last episode.
I did say that.
Yeah, and so now that they have to cut it down to half an hour, it has to be...
They couldn't let a day or two go by,
What are they supposed to show? Show like it goes 2 days later?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I just thought that was a little quick.
I didn't catch that. I mean, how soon do you bury a person?
Well, in the Jewish faith, it's in 24 hours.
You Jewish?
No, but in others, it can be however long you need. But the Jewish people are very, very quick about doing it in 24 hours, yes.
Right in the backyard? Or
no.
I didn't say that. I didn't mean that. No.
That's why...
I do it in the backyard.
That, coincidentally, another sidebar, is why William Shatner did not go to Leonard Nimoy's funeral, because he was 3,000 miles away on the other coast, and he had an event, and he couldn't get back in time for the funeral. And most people understood that. It was a charity event.
I don't know. I'll say this and we'll go right back to the episode, but I think people find time to do the things they really want to do. Well, if you look at anybody's life, they go, I didn't have time for that. I didn't have to.
Shatner,
if you want to do something, you'll find time with. A lot of people, it's for the kids. But
Shatner, who was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone,
yes.
He had committed to a charity in Florida, and they had sold tickets. It was a fundraiser,
right.
So you got to give him a pass on that.
I'll cut William Shatner some slack if he comes and is on our podcast.
Well, he could talk about either Nick of Time or Nightmare at 20,000
Right, we're going to have him first, and then we're having Billy Mummy later. Mummy.
So anyway, the funeral is going on. They've just buried Hyder Simpson. Oh. And what's next for Rip and Hyder?
Well, he's kind of going, who are you burying all this? And they carry him out, and the old lady starts crying, which is very emotional or whatever. And he goes, he's going to start following him up to the cemetery, whatever. And they go up the hill or whatever. And as they go up the hill, he loses sight of him.
Yep.
He goes, I'll catch up to him. And when he gets to the top of the hill, there's nobody there. Where'd they go, Rip? So he keeps walking, and he comes to a fence.
Right.
He goes, who the heck put this fence here?
Yeah.
We never had a fence here. Well, let's go see where it ends up. Now, you would have thought, like, if you have criticism, he probably would have gone, where did my wife go with this casket? As opposed to following this fence. But I mean, every movie you can pick out something, you go, that would never happen.
Wouldn't happen.
That's like movie Hollywood movie stuff, or whatever.
You're allowed to suspend disbelief for only so long in these things.
Right, but neither one of those hit me, so I go, okay, he's got to follow the fence. And where does he come to?
He comes to a toll booth.
Toll booth.
Manned by a character actor you've seen in just about everything, and I wish I'd thought to look him up, because he's one of those guys you see him and you say, oh, that guy. Yeah, but anyway, this gentleman explains to him, congratulations, Mr. Simpson, you've made it to heaven.
Just a few things I've got to ask you.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
How did you die?
How much do you weigh?
Well, I figure I've been walking about 7 years.
This is flesh and bone right here.
Son.
You touch it.
So he explains.
Well, you wouldn't be here no way if you hadn't died, Mr. Simpson.
And I think that's when the light bulb finally goes off for Hyder Simpson.
Right, well,
he
right.
realizes this is it.
Like you said, what did you say? What did you do last night? Right? You
yeah.
Yeah. He goes, well, we were chasing this raccoon, and we was like, and Rip went in the water, and
Oh yeah. And I remember the raccoon laughing at us afterwards. Yeah.
He got away.
That was that.
Rocky Raccoon, that's a great song.
Okay.
Does he want me to play it?
No.
Okay.
So he realizes that he's dead, and he and Rip have achieved their final reward. They're going to be allowed into heaven. Or are they?
Well, the guy keeps going, hey, come on in. And they start, and Hyder Simpson, Rip start going, he goes, oh, no, you can't bring that dog in here. Who's that? Is that Hyder? Oh, that's the Howling Man. We're getting to that on our next episode, hopefully. But he won't let the dog in. Won't let Rip in.
No dogs in heaven.
No. He can go up the road here to the dog heaven, whatever. And Hyder Simpson goes,
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. He plays won't take Rip. I ain't naturally going to go in there.
But the toll booth guy is persistent. He's like, well, I'll tell you what. You come on in, take a look around, and then when nobody's looking,
I'll sneak him in.
Oh,
no. If Rip's coming in, he's coming in with me. I don't want him getting the bad idea that he ain't welcome.
Yep. And because he's very protective of Rip, obviously.
Thank
There's
God.
a back and forth for 5 or 10
Rip is such a lovable dog.
Rip is a good dog. And Rip knows something's going on because he starts barking.
And he starts backing away a little.
Backing away.
In one of the scenes, he's like, okay, backing away.
So finally, Hyder Simpson says, well, any place that's not good enough for my dog is not good enough for me.
I'm going to go down this road. He goes, you ain't going to get any place. This is Eternity Road.
Eternity Road.
It just keeps going and going and going. Sort of like me talking.
You know what sounds
It just never ends.
Sounds good to me. You'll never get bored. Keep walking down the highway.
Well, unless you're a person like you who wants to get to the destination, who doesn't like the trip. Where are we going? Are we there? Are we there? You got to enjoy the trip of life.
So as he continues walking along Eternity Road, he actually runs into somebody else.
He sits down, and all of a sudden he sees somebody coming down. And he goes, hey, and the guy comes up to him, the younger guy.
Yep.
He comes up to him, you be Hyder Simpson and a dog named Rip? He goes, yep. I figured so.
Come on in.
Come on in. Go,
this is it.
This is heaven.
Well, like I told that fella up the road there, I ain't going to come in unless Rip can come in too.
Right.
Oh, you didn't run into him, did you?
I feel like I'm in the episode. Keep going.
They don't stop. They always try to. That was hell. No. Hyder Simpson said, "I can't imagine eternity without Rip. That'd be a hell of a place."
Oh, that's right. And you ain't too far off.
You ain't too far off. That is hell.
Yeah, that is hell. He goes, what? And like you said, they don't stop trying to get you until the very, very end. Of course, they get most people.
And I have to describe the scene. It looks very much like Bruce's backyard. I mean, it's very, there's trees.
A lot of holes.
There's a lot of holes. There's a fence. And he's like, come on in. And Hyder Simpson finally realizes he has made it to heaven after all.
Right.
And he says, I'm proud to be here, son. And this is where
that's a good thing. Yeah.
This is where we finally hear the name Elizabeth, because he says...
No, Rachel.
Rachel, that's right. He says Rachel. He says, my old woman Rachel, she won't have no trouble getting past that guy.
No, not Rachel. No problem. And from what I hear, she be coming... What do you say? She'll be coming right away?
She'll be coming along directly.
Directly! Very good.
And I have to say, that's my second criticism of the episode, because Hyder seems a little happy that his wife's about to die. Now, I would think, it's great that they're going to see each other, but I would think he'd do it a little more
right. But if you've been with somebody for 50 years or whatever, I mean, and they lose. A lot of times, one spouse dies and the other one's gone like within a year or something. Sometimes that happens, but I get the sentiment of it.
Yes.
Or whatever. I mean, he doesn't want somebody to go down there and shoot her.
And, and normally we don't give away the endings here, but I think we've probably just dissected this one to the end so that you know that they both make it to heaven. And it's one of those rare happy endings.
It doesn't show Rachel getting into heaven, but it just shows Hyder and Rip walking into heaven. And they're
going to go to the coon hunt that night after dinner.
And they he goes, you get the coon hunting here? Of course we do. It's right after the square dance.
Right after the square dance.
And of course down the other place, they didn't have that sort of, we don't do that sort of stuff or whatever. So a great episode. I mean, I enjoy watching it over and over.
Earl Hamner Jr., great writer. I mean, there's a museum in Hollywood. It's called the Paley Center. I think that's the name of it. And they've got a whole William Hamner exhibit. They've got the typewriter.
That's right. You told me about
typewriter that he used to type this episode is on display.
You told me about that. That's good. That's good. I mean, it's just a great episode. And there's no bombs exploding. There's no special effects.
And it's
just
a happy ending, which you don't see in the Twilight Zone that often. He made it into heaven.
That is true. He said what she often says. I'm just presenting what's happening. It's not going to resolve it. It's not going to fix it. It's going to be. But thank God for Rip got in, Hyder got in, and Rachel's coming right directly.
So that's our review of The Hunt season 3.
It's a good one.
Very good episode. We recommend it. It's not like a top 10 favorite, but it's one of our favorites that we felt deserved its own
Close
show
for me, but
to discuss. Anyway, I think that's all we're going to have time for this week. We'd like to remind you once again, please subscribe to our channel. Please like us. And please hit the notification bell. All three of these things will help us increase our viewership. We want to get word to you and to other Twilight Zone fans. Bruce, anything last?
I just want to say, when you get a chance, Mr. Shatner, just give us a ring, because I know you want to show up and correct this blasphemy my partner has said about you. And we'll see you later, Billy Mooney.
And
we'll say Rip. We'll see you later. We love Rip. That's all I got to say.
And on this episode, Bruce, you have
done it again. The last word.